Hey everyone, it's that special time again. That's right, it's a pounds for purrs workout, and today was squat and bench press. So 3 triples followed by 2 doubles, and normally I would have been scheduled to work out yesterday, but I somehow had the day off, and I hadn't seen one of my best friends for a very long time. He had the day available, and it's his birthday, so I really wanted to make sure I got out to see him. We trained martial arts like we always did before, and it was nice. It was a good break. It was nice to see him. It was nice to spend time doing really my biggest passion, which is martial arts, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I have no problem with pushing today's workout off one day, so I'm absolutely fine. But I was a little cautious with today and just making sure that everything was right. And with squats, I'm pretty happy with these sets with 345. It's moving the way it should. I'm getting the proper depth, and especially when I start getting to my doubles, really well done today. So good squat day overall. In general, good squat day, and the triples went fine. Even the first one after I did a single with 315 when I got done with my warm-ups, each of these felt pretty good. The first set was alright, was decent, and then they started to get better and better. I knew I had to make just the ever so slightest of adjustments. So here's the third triple. And then when I get to the doubles, you'll see that they get just a little bit better. And I probably say that the very last set, the second double, is probably the best one out of the bunch, just because I was able to lock everything in by then, and the depth is perfect. I wouldn't need to go any lower than this. So it's nice. And this, again, the doubles just a little bit better than the triples, because by that time I had everything locked in and right where we're supposed to be. Before I did squats, I did my usual warm-up primer, and today I went back to the drop snatch, and I quickly reminded myself how much lighter you have to go on that versus, let's say, a snatch balance, where you can get that dip and drive and be able to hold a little bit more weight. When you do a drop snatch, since it's directly down and it's a shot down through the hips, yeah, you can't go quite as heavy. So I did 45. I did triples with 45, and then 65, and then 75. 85 would have been a little tough. All right, there we go. Look at that depth, guys. That's exactly where I'd like to see with 345, and even when I get to 355. Okay, now here comes bench press. Now, weird thing with bench press, and I noticed this the last time I benched, it just seemed a little bit tougher to get a good solid pause on the chest, as something just felt ever so slightly off, and it didn't really hit me until probably the first double, when I actually figured it out and corrected it. So as I go through these triples, what I do between them is just adjust a little bit for grip width. Sometimes I would put my index fingers on the inside ring. Sometimes I would go with the middle fingers. Sometimes I would just kind of inch out, inch in, thinking maybe that's what it was. And then by the time I got to my first double, then I realized, no, I think it's 2 things. One, it's a little bit of bar path. I started to go a little higher up towards clavicle area, and so I lowered that a little bit. But also, the more important one was elbow positioning. And you might not be able to catch it in the video, but the more I kind of directed the elbows a little bit more in front, along with a little bit of adduction as well from the shoulders. But the main thing here is going to be the elbow positioning. So with these, you're not going to see nearly as long as of a pause as I was doing in the past. And even with the first day of doubles, you get a little bit of a sink onto the chest and about a second or so of a pause, and for some of these reps a little bit longer than others. So usually with the opening rep, not very much, and then like that one, that got to the chest and then I pressed it right back up. Now that one I did rush, so it made it down, it stopped, but there was no semblance of a pause or anything like that. Now here with the doubles is where I start to figure things out, and it starts to get a little bit better and corrected. So that was a lot better in terms of being on the chest and being in the proper spot, but also making sure my elbows were where they needed to be. And then for accessories today, I kept it light, and I did that on purpose. I didn't want to push the accessories, so I did sets of 10 for both. I did good morning, and I basically just wanted to make sure I was getting completely bent over, getting a good parallel stiff-legged version of it. So I did sets of 10 with 185, 195, 205, very manageable, pretty easy. And then for dips, I did sets of 10 with 45, 55, and 65. All right, guys, remember, adopt, don't shop.